The Beekeeper.
Fuck yeah. Whoever thought there'd be a movie called The Beekeeper that doesn't star Peter Sellers in 1976?
Sam, have you seen the trailer for The Beekeeper?
When the last time I went to the movies, which was recently, I walked in when this trailer was playing, and there was some like laughter at what was going on.
Yeah,
and I looked at
sign.
it, and I just saw it, and I looked at it, and I said, "That looks extremely ridiculous. I will never see that ever."
Is it Jason Statham fighting bees?
Oh no, he is of the bees.
He is the beekeeper.
He is the beekeeper. He is a friend. He is a friend of the bees.
That's right.
Their queen is his queen. He is basically a bee.
I love it.
Dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees.
I mean, yeah, we're like approaching that level of ridiculousness.
Does anyone punch a hive?
They
Explodes.
see, I'm trying not to give spoilers.
Okay, don't
but they-
spoil shit. They may punch a hive, America.
Yeah.
We don't know. Spend your money.
There's some artillery rounds are volleyed into hives.
I
I'll
love
just
it.
say that.
Fucking A, it better be.
Yeah.
Give me my money's worth, Beekeeper. Blow up some bees. The bad ones.
Like I'm like,
Yeah, dude. Actually, we have a bee shortage in this world. If you didn't know, you
Fuck,
stupid
that's because
piece
we're
of
blowing
shit.
them up. We got to. It's
Seth is
America. We have to
canceled. His
blow these fucking
political
things up.
opinions are coming out.
That's right.
Finally.
dude. Well,
Only flies, baby. Bees got to go.
well, that's one of the reasons they're upset at the bad guys is they have, in a small way, depleted the bee population.
Fucking A.
Yeah,
Love it. Political. Back to my shit. I don't know why. I don't care about politics at all. I don't know why. Sorry.
Wink, wink.
Wink. I swear I don't care about politics. Underground. I say it all. I say the truth. Not up here. Sorry.
Don't look at my phone's GPS. On January 6th.
You don't want to see what I Google. It's all political. But I don't talk about it.
But I was sitting there and I was in like full. I was like, Statham, awesome. Bees, even better. Hit me with it. But this is one of those old school kind of movies where they show the title and then they say starring and then they have the actual credits at the beginning.
yeah.
Cool.
And which is not a thing they really do anymore, you know? But also they had like flashing images of like Egyptians tending bees and Romans tending bees and bees in the Middle Ages.
Wow, how'd they get that footage?
You know,
AI.
there was
Fucking
like some-
AI.
they were showing off some frescoes and some mosaics and whatnot.
Whoa, love it.
But then at the very end, it says written by Kurt Wimmer, and all of a sudden everything changed because Kurt Wimmer is the guy who wrote and directed Equilibrium,
Fucking A, way
which
back.
is the ultimate dumb guy movie.
Yeah.
There is no other
It's
movie.
deep,
It's
dude.
so
I've been
deep,
telling you how
dude.
fucking deep it is for 20 years.
The dumb man's Matrix.
Yeah. Plus
Yeah.
1984.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about that movie, and to a larger degree, my favorite thing about Kurt Wimmer is that everything that he writes is just petty personal grievances against like little ticky-tacky things in society that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And that's why I now have to rewatch The Beekeeper, because people were like, oh yeah, do you remember this scene? I'm like, no, I'm just paying attention to the stupid fucking horrible dialogue.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, he got scammed over the phone and was doing coke and watching nature documentaries about bees, and this was born.
Yeah, this is how creativity works.
Yeah.
You know what they haven't written much about on the big screen? Bees.
Bees.
He did that in his living room. Bees. And then he passed out. But the next morning, he got to work.
My favorite thing about Equilibrium is that it features a fighting style that Kurt Wimmer developed by himself.
Oh, in his bedroom?
In his back,
with a mirror?
in his backyard.
Fucking
This
A.
guy sounds fun.
Yeah. No,
Wait till you see a picture of this fucking guy.
Oh yeah. I'll have to pull
Show
up
her
a picture of
There's
Kurt Wimmer.
It's really good. His
Yeah.
letterbox photo is what I looked for.
Oh yeah.
And I was
I
like,
assume it's the.
holy fuck,
I
this
assume
guy.
it's the same one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at this man.
That man
He's
is
got the crazy eye.
Violent
Yeah.
or sensitive?
he's never-
He could be one or the other.
He's never worn an undershirt. Never not been rocking just full chest.
Also, some weird razor burn under his right where the coat goes in the middle. It's clean, and then he has two weird razor burns on the side. I don't know if he does coke. That's Rivers' assumption.
Yeah.
No one in LA
Allegedly.
does coke.
Allegedly.
Not, especially not a film business.
Vicious
No
rumor
way.
and innuendo.
I see that guy's picture and I think never done coke. Ever.
yeah, that's right. Totally.
Well, so that's the thing I knew about him was that he wrote and directed that movie, and that he also invented gun kata, which is what he calls his fighting style.
Gun kata.
Gun kata. So if
That's
you
like
watch
Bruce Lee shit. Jeet Kune Do.
Right.
Same thing, basically.
Except for morons. So if you watch Equilibrium, he's doing like slap fights, but with guns. You know
that rules.
And so basically,
he's like shooting over his head to the side.
Yeah.
Guns at the same time.
This is just John Woo. Yeah, of course.
But like John Woo, but like a guy who really thinks he's a badass. Like doing like cartwheels in the middle of it and shit.
Yep, like a 14-year-old boy being like, "I'm John Woo now."
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't think you got it, buddy.
Yeah. So this is from the production section of Equilibrium's Wikipedia. Kurt Wimmer tells a story about inventing the Equilibrium's groundbreaking gun kata martial arts in his backyard.
Oh my God, yeah.
First, he had to check to make sure his family wasn't home and the neighbors weren't looking over the fence.
Yeah, when I do gun kata, I want to make sure nobody at all sees this.
Yeah, definitely.
Even my dog, I'll shut out of the room.
Yeah, this is
So I can
between me
just
and
be
God.
alone. Yeah. Good God, I love it.
He says, quote, "I remember thinking, am I crazy? Do I actually have the balls to hang a movie on this concept, which may not work at all?" He says that the
Wow.
idea for gun kata came out of his regret that cinematic gunfights stopped evolving after American movies stole Hong Kong action movies' ideas.
His regret.
Combatants to
The
guns.
deep regret is.
And Hong Kong movies stole American movies' ideas of having combatants hold those guns sideways while shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, we need to break out of the monotony, because as soon
Totally.
as John Woo started cocking the gun sideways, it was a wrap for gunfights.
That's true. That's all we needed.
So now we've got this maniac just doing cartwheels in his backyard and going pew pew.
And then he showed that to Christian Bale.
Yes, and Tay
And he was
Diggs.
like, "Yeah, I could probably do that."
Yes. Tay Diggs and Christian Bale were like, yes, we're in.
Could you imagine the pitch meeting for that, like with the money people?
If he
Did he
didn't-
do gun kata?
That's what I was gonna say. If he didn't do a
He had
flip, if he didn't do a fucking roll over a conference table,
Totally.
what are we all here for? You
This
know
is what
I mean?
he's famous for, is those pitch meetings. He let a bunch of bees free during the Beekeeper and was like, "Hold on, you're either going to get stung or we're going to make the movie. Here we go." And then he captured them all. And
Yeah, but I saw this online, and it's true. It's like the amount of screenwriters who are successful despite being fucking nuts. There's not that many. They're
yeah.
a dying breed. you
yeah,
know?
you're either Charlie Kaufman or you're doing gun kata.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Deep artist or moron.
So I was I just based on his photo and his work, I've deemed him metrosexual John Milius.
That's great.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah, he owns a tank.
Yeah, well, and he's got like pretty reactionary tendencies, but they're not like full on reactionary. They're just like, this guy's just mad about a lot of stuff. Like Equilibrium, I do think someone tried to put him on Prozac. He did it once and he was like, fuck that, and wrote a movie, because that's the plot of Equilibrium, is they make everybody take Libria, which is like the Prozac, and that's his dystopia. It's like everybody is well adjusted.
That's awesome. I love it. He's like a battle rapper. He's very specific in his targets.
It's like we don't
I'm
got
knocking this down.
Prozac takes away the spice of life, baby. We can't be having that shit.
That's crazy. I never saw Equilibrium, but I know people were, when it came out, people were like, "It's actually really cool," but I never saw it. It seemed like fake Matrix.
Well, it's
shit to
gone
me.
through
Yeah.
two phases, right?
Yeah.
It's gone through the first phase, which is, when you're young, you're like, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Totally. It's like Boondock Saints.
And then you hear all the,
And you're like, "Oh, that's not good at all. That's not good at all, is it?"
but then you read all the shit about Gun Kata, and you're like, oh, he's an actual crazy guy. I gotta watch it again through that lens. And then upon the second viewing, you're like, okay, yeah, this is, it's
good
like
shit.
outsider art almost.
Yeah,
You're like the fucking Diary of a Madman.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, in the world of movies by committee, it's nice to see a singular vision, even if it's totally fucking stupid.
Yes.
It's exciting.
And that's why I was telling a friend of the show, John Ungaro, we were texting about it. I was like, when you look at his filmography, it has to be a solo, because they bring him in to punch up action movies
Oh
all
yeah,
the
for
time.
sure.
It's
He just
gotta be-
punches the scripts with his
Yeah,
hands.
literally.
And they go, "That's what he does." We pay him a lot of money. I don't know why.
Throws it in the air and fucking kicks the script.
Well, speaking of crazy, have you guys seen Beau Was Afraid?
I really want
it's
to.
On my, it's on my list.
I haven't, but
Oh,
I really want to.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an assault of the senses.
It's
right?
just like,
completely
what?
insane.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's what you got to do. If they give
Yeah.
you any power, you just got to go full stupid and crash the
Oh,
car
yeah,
like
yeah.
immediately.
It's a great movie and it's a terrible movie.
I
at
love
the same
that.
time.
That rules. That's a
Yeah.
good assessment. I love that kind of thing.
Well, that's kind of the perfect third, because is Ari Aster made any other ones, or is that his third one?
no, I think it's 3 movies. He
Yeah,
made a bunch of shorts. I think.
Hereditary,
Midsommar,
Midsommar,
that, yeah.
and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Hereditary, Midsommar, did well enough
Yeah.
to where they're like, okay, we'll
Yeah.
give you the keys to the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Oh yeah,
it's
he
like
ran with
Babylon.
it. He ran with it. Like, good for him.
It's like Babylon. Dude does Whiplash, La La Land. Those are both successful. It's like,
yeah.
okay, here's the craziest
Totally.
movie
Jump off the
I'll
bridge. You
ever
got to do
make.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What Babylon? Jesus, what the fuck?
I haven't seen that shit either, but I really want to.
We got to.
But here's the thing, like you said, some people have been like, "Oh, it's a piece of shit," but then a lot of people who know me well are like, "You might love it,"
I loved it.
because it's so
There's-
crazy.
I
But I
loved
haven't
it.
seen it,
There's
so
it,
I don't know
like
yet.
it's like two different. It's two different, completely different movies in
Yeah.
one movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I love the freedom to be a dummy. It's like there are records like that where a band just went really weird, or Bob Dylan did that like 6 times.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, it's just gonna go Christian here and see how this
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah,
and
Dave-
sometimes it does, and sometimes it's just kind of interesting they did it.
Right. At 50, David Bowie's like, I'm a model now.
Yeah,
what?
exactly. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, I
Yeah.
have a friend in Philly, Dan Scully, and he's a movie critic.
Uh-huh.
And I text him, I'm like, hey, I'm about to watch Beau is Afraid. And he's like, buckle in.
Yeah,
exactly.
Get ready.
It's a ride, a very weird ride. That's cool. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I like terrible good
It's
things.
it's on, if you have Paramount Plus, it's in the Showtime part.
I want cable, as I've told you, and unless they show it to me on accident, I was going on about cable before this. But no, that's awesome. I do have Paramount Plus.
There you go.
Let them know I've given you my money. Yes.
I had one more. I had one more Kurt Wimmer thing I wanted
Yeah.
to share.
Oh, yeah.
So this is kind of an anonymous user from Reddit. So vicious rumor in
be
your
him.
window, but who
Could be
knows?
Kurt Wimmer himself.
It says, true story. About 12 years ago, I went to a party at Kurt Wimmer's estate in Tarzana, which is part of the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles.
Hell yeah.
He gave me and some other folks a tour and showed us his writing studio. Kurt Wimmer writes in bed on his back with the script projected on the ceiling and the keyboard down by his legs.
Holy shit.
Wait.
So he lays in bed.
What does
and
he do when he makes love?
he's
people?
got-
That's the real question.
a minute,
What else
what?
is being projected in that house?
Always on a desk. In that
Oh,
case.
yeah.
Yeah, he fucks at his work desk.
Yeah. So he's got a projector on the floor pointing at the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's attached to, one assumes, Final Draft. And he sits there and writes scripts down by his side, just staring at the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Oh.
Just like Stanley Kubrick envisioned screenwriting.
And as much as I want to make fun of
Just
that,
like Alfred Hitchcock predicted.
Yeah, exactly.
as much as I want to make fun of that, I was instantly
awesome.
jealous when I read that. I was like,
Yeah.
man.
The problem
sounds
is
horrible.
Yeah, the problem is when you're writing in bed, you can't see it on the ceiling. That's always been the real problem for screenwriters, I think.
I can't imagine typing
God,
a bunch,
rules.
laying down with the keyboard on my lap.
Yeah, that's
that seems
insane.
crazy.
That's
It's
the
insane.
weirdest part is he says it's down by his legs. I'm like, I would assume just on his tummy, like he's an otter cracking an oyster or something.
I bet all
Yeah.
that. What's the name of the gun thing? Gun Kata.
Kata.
I bet all that Gun Kata fucked his back
Yeah,
up, and
yeah,
he has
yeah.
to lay down. And he's like, "No, it's super cool and normal."
Yeah.
And he's really like,
I played-
"Fuck, my spine is destroyed."
Yeah. I played Gun Kata back in 02.
Yeah.
Fuck my
right
back up.
in bed. The wooden desk smells like sex now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that man
I
is.
have a weird thing.
Yeah. Also, I know that people have like, a writing studio, I suppose is a thing, but calling it a studio. I mean, it has like studio lighting and fucking microphone set up for no reason. Like, what's
I want to
what's
see
the
how it's
studio?
decorated.
Yeah, soundproof walls for what exactly? Typing?
So it continues. Later that night, Kurt got into an awkward argument with his girlfriend, so I slipped away from the main party and ended up in a guest house where I hung out with twin Israeli models who were paging through.
The Hollywood dream.
Nice, dude.
They were paging through a coffee table book with pictures of nude and semi-nude women with enormous breasts. It was the weirdest night of my
Enormous
life.
breast. A guy like that writes Beekeeper needs enormous breasts
Yeah,
around.
fuck yeah, dude.
All the
Like-
time. Just a high octane
That guy's about
breasts.
15 minutes away from making some crazy porn.
Absolutely.
Oh,
He's got
you
he's got
know,
a studio.
So
He's about 15 seconds away.
yeah, that's right.
So once again, as tempted as I am to make fun of this,
Sure.
it's his guest house. And I think filling a guest house with pornography
Yeah.
is hilarious.
That's where you do the fucking. If you're visiting my house, don't do it in here.
It's just if someone's coming to visit me, it's like make them a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to stay that
Let
long.
them feel at home.
I just imagine it was like an artsy thing,
Yeah, sure.
which makes
yeah.
it a
course.
bit stranger.
Yeah.
But, it's art.
Yeah, he's trying to normalize his titty obsession. He's like, this is art shit.
If it was a porno mag, there'd be advertisements for pocket pussies.
Exactly.
And that would be disgusting.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't have that in the guest house.
No fucking way.
Fleshlight.
That's amazing. I want to sleep in the guest house. I don't want to meet his girlfriend or go to his writing studio, but I want the titties in the guest house, please.
Also, we know 100% what the argument was about. On the desk again? No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's my writing studio. We can't do it there.